Welcome to the session number 4 on Vedic Sandhya meaning and practice. Today I want to move forward from where we discussed last time. The very first mantra of Om Shanno Devi Vishtaya. So I want to take you to that website which we have been look at the mantras. This was the mantra we discussed last time that puts why we sit for the Sandhya. As we move forward, the next set is so-called Indriya Spars Mantra, meaning we touch our body organs, Om, walk, touching the mouth, Prana, the nostrils, Chakshu, the eyes, Shrotyam, ears, Navi, the navel, Hridayam, the pumping heart on the left side, Kantha, throat, ear, the head region, and then we say Bahubhyam, Yashobalam, both the shoulders representing our arms, and Kayatalakapishte, the palms and the other sides of the palms. This, of course, the ending is saying Yashobalam. So we are asking for the strength in these body organs. And then I also want to discuss two more sets today. The next one is they are called as Majan Mantra. Here we touch the body organs with wet fingers. Om Bhu Punatu Shriyasi, the head, then the eyes, Bhuah Punatu Netyayo, Bhuah Punatu Kanthe, the throat, Maha Punatu Hriday, the heart, Jana Punatu Nabhyam, the navel area, Tapah Punatu Padayo, our 2 feet, then back to the head, saying Satyam Punatu Punashriyasi. Then lastly we say Kham Brahma Punatu Sarvatya, the entire body came as such. So this is symbolically using the wet fingers and seeking the purity of all our body organs. When we are seeking the purity, we know that there is a powerful force beneath these organs. That's why these organs are able to function properly. Nothing but that all pervading Ishwar. And we use his various names Bhu, Bhuva, Swa, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satyam, then Om Khambham. Punatu is may you purify. The meaning of Punatu is we are seeking the force of the Ishwar recalled by various names, total 8 names here. 7 is from Bhu to Satyam, and this is 8. Total 8 names we recall for that entity known as Ishwar, the infinite consciousness. And we seek his help in purifying the various organs of our body frame. Then the next set is you will see the same names, the 7 of them, except the last one, from Bhu, Bhuva, Swa, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satyam. Now they are coming alone. Now these are called as pranayam mantra. When we do deep breathing, and last time we have integrated these mantras, we have done deep breathing after a citation of these. And then I promise today we will integrate these mantras with the process of deep breathing as such. So these mantras are nothing but 7 names of the Ishwar that have been used in the previous set. So this is our agenda for today's discussion. So I thought at the outset I will show you these 3 sets of mantras. First set today we will discuss is what is I will refer to it as the ones we use to touch our body organs, seeking strength of the body organ. Second set, seeking purity of the body organ. From that, Ishwar recalled with 7 names. And then third set, we recite those 7 names in the pranayama. These are the 3 sets of mantras we want to discuss today. Let me go back to my slides and then use some of my slides, having given you the broad idea what I want to discuss today. Title slide. And today's first slide is number 4, number 1, 4.1. I want to show you the interaction of our instruments, body and mind. These are our instruments, body and mind, that we use consciously. And this is my tiny consciousness. This is me, and I am the owner of my body and my mind. The connectivity is real in the sense if there is anything happening in my body frame, it is caused by my mind. And the events in my body are also brought to my notice. If I say I have a back pain, it will be felt by the body, transmitted to the mind, and then it is brought to my notice. Of course, today the layperson says I am a body, mind, and consciousness, soul, or self, or whatever he may use it. But this is our non physical tiny consciousness. In his view, this is what I am. But we know as such that this is not total description of me, because my instruments of body and mind function due to certain forces that we are characterizing as vital background forces. Sanskrit term for them is pran. They are background in the sense they are non-voluntary in nature. I don't have to consciously do that. They just happen by themselves. And we know it from a scientific point of view that nothing happens by itself. If there is a effect, there is always a cause for that. Any event is caused by certain causes. Without them, the effect would not come into existence. So those forces that are always working in background non-voluntarily, we are not voluntarily performing them, and this happened to be very vital. Approximating them with what is happening in our brain, in our nervous system, in our cardiac system, in our respiratory system, in our digestion system, and in our renal system. So these are 5 zones where certain forces are always happening, causing certain events ceaselessly, non-stop, 24 by 7. And if they stop, say my heart stops beating, then I will collapse in few minutes, few seconds. So they are very vital in nature. They are background forces because they are non-voluntary. And in Vedic terminology, the term used for them is prana. Again, it is a family. It has five members: prana, apana, vyana, saman, and udan. But the family as a whole is also called as prana. Then one who is practicing Sandhya, Sandhyopasana, has a clear understanding that nothing happens by itself, and if I am not consciously doing it, some other consciousness must be driving it. That is the prime mover. So he attributes all these background vital forces to Ishwar. So in this Vedic terminology, Ishwar has another name as Pran. We are familiar with the mantra Om Yah Pranato Nimishato Mahitvaikadyaja. So he is the one who causes these forces because we know it. In material world, nothing moves by itself. So many chairs are lying in front of me. We can wait for many days and months and years. They will not move unless a conscious human being lifts it and places it from place 1 to place 2. A conscious being must act on a material thing, then only it moves. So is true with all our material body organs, our lungs, our diaphragm, our heart, that they will not move unless a conscious entity is exerting some force on it. And since I am not causing my heartbeat, it is attributed to Ishwar. So this is a very important Vedic concept borrowed by all the Vedic rishis, including Patanjali, who is teaching us about yoga and upasana. So he says, don't go straight from asana to pratyahar. You go from asana to pranayam, then pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. So nobody goes in our Vedic terminology, jumps from body to mind direct. It is in between the pranic domain. So notionally, these forces, they are spread over the whole of our framework, but notionally, because you can never see a force, you can see the effect a force is causing, namely a movement, but you cannot see a force as such. So nobody can see these forces, but we see that these forces are causing blood circulation, breathe in, breathe out, etc., and so many a digestion of food, then waste material being thrown out through the intestines, bladder, and so on and so forth. So many forces are working. We notionally place them between body and mind. So this vertical arrow is showing its notional location. It's like a conceptual head office, but this is working everywhere. Then I have one pair of arrows here, one pair of arrows here. Look at this as our powerhouse, which must stop non-stop. Even as I sleep, deep slumber, these forces are working to ensure when I wake up, I can use my body. And so they are always working, but as any powerhouse would happen, need some sort of fuel is required. Yes, these forces are due to Ishwar, but if I stop consuming any food, I stop consuming water, I don't supply any food or water to the system, then this will also collapse. This powerhouse will not work at all. So that is why there is an arrow from body to the prana. Satpat Brahman says, Annau ve prana. Food grain is the fuel for the powerhouse. So what I eat, I supply food to the body, but that somehow becomes through certain complex forces, processes, that this is what is supplying fuel to this powerhouse. And then this is causing a lot of things to happen in my body. And this also lets my mind function. That's why there is an arrow from prana to mind. There is an arrow from mind to prana also, that with application of mind, I can influence this powerhouse slightly. Indeed, we do our deep breathing, we apply our mind and influence it slightly. So that is an arrow from mind to the prana. So I have briefly explained why I have put all these arrows here to explain schematically. Of course, our system is extremely complex, but in a simplified manner, this is how we function. So today's discussion is on pranayama mantra and body organs and their purity. Body organs are made to function by mind. So purity of mind is what my eyes are always functioning as a convex lens. But when you say purity of my eyes, how I look, others' money, others' wealth, others' wonderful houses, women, and so many glittering things in the world, that depends on purity of my sight. So that is not that much as if I wash my eyes will become pure. That is due to how my mind is. What is the purity of my mind? All that what we have discussed elsewhere as my sanskar, etc. So that is where this is the driving force for my body organs. And when I seek purity of body organs, I mean purity of mind. And this whole thing, complex system, is made to work by that entity known as Pran, Ishwar, etc. So we say Bhupana Tushriyasi. So we recall the force of Ishwar, that only you can wipe out my impure sanskars and transform them into a pure sanskar, so that I become a person with pure mind. And then we say, seeing that the upasak, the person who is performing Sandhya, knows that Ishwar only can purify my body organs, and not only that, he is non-stop making all this complex system work. So he goes to the third set of mantra, and that is what is pranayama mantra. The first set of mantra is related to the strength of the organs. Second set of mantra is about purity of them, which is something related to my mind. And then I have a understanding that all this is driven by that Ishwar, and then I that brings us to the third set of mantra, namely pranayama mantra. So I hope this diagram helps you understand the three sets of mantras and their interplay of body, mind, and prana, and so that we can understand them much better. Let me move on. Today I want to introduce another concept of what is called Panchakosh. My tiny consciousness is enveloped by five sheets, five sheets. So in the previous slide, what was the mind? This has been opened out in terms of three units, namely manas, which you can say as mind body linkage, and a memory device, storage device, where all our past is stored, called sanskar. And at some point I have tried to explain. Sanskar is again like pran is a term for the entire family, and that includes pran, apan, vyan, saman, udan. In the same manner, sanskar is a term used for the family of three kinds of past impressions. Past impressions of knowledge is called as smriti. Past impressions of our experiences, bhog, leads to particularly what is very desirable, leads to certain cravings, that is called as vasana. Past impressions of our actions, when I have done something repeatedly, that is called sanskar. So past impressions of knowledge, experience and actions, they have they have their own terms, respectively smriti, vasana and sanskar. But when I use collectively the term sanskar, that applies to all the three types of past impressions. So that is what is stored here in this memory, called as ahankar by Kapil in Sankhya. Then this is buddhi, intellect, where this is my powerful tool where I apply my discriminatory ability. As a human being, we decide, is this truth or untruth? Is it right or wrong, good or bad, etc.? So all those decisions are made here. And this is me, finally the owner of all this. So now I want to explain to you where do these five sheets or five layers come from. Their Sanskrit names are given here. Annamaya Kosha. This is a common term everywhere. So this is first one, the outermost one is Annamaya. English translation is given as gross body, the visible body. The second layer is that called Pranamaya Kosh. We have discussed in previous slide, where all our vital forces are functioning. As I have said, it is notionally placed here, but they are functioning throughout. This is merely their head office, but it is functioning like there is a police station, but police force is there everywhere in the city. So it is something like that. Then the third one is Manomaya Kosh, that includes primarily the mind linkage and a part of this memory device, Ahankar device, which is where the five senses bring in their information, and this is what activates five organs for action. Then this is that storage device, and this is called as Vijnanmaya Kosh, intellect layer, where information is placed before me and I am processing it by the process called thinking and decision making. And finally, very unusual, this is the peculiarity of Vedic philosophy, and Anandamaya Kosh, blissful layer. So the English translation for these Annamaya Kosh is gross body layer, Pranamaya Kosh that we discussed previous slide, vital forces, Manomaya Kosh, mind linkage. Sometimes I use the term outer mind, that is what connects us to the body frame. Vijnanmaya Kosh is intellect layer. This is our inner mind. That is what is my desktop I am using constantly. Finally, the closest to me is Anandamaya Kosh. This requires some explanation because this is a very unusual term in Vedic philosophy, Ananda, which is as such pleasure and happiness, but it is of a unusual kind, of the supreme kind. And not only it is unusual that this is of the superlative nature, it is very unusual in the sense it has no negative counterpart. I am enjoying some sensual pleasures, say here, that is called sukha, joy and pleasures of life. That is that are driven, obtained through one of the five senses, sensory pleasures. And they have negative counterpart of dukha also. They have something pain also. They can cause pain also, which I want to get away from. Sometimes we are not that active in the body frame. We are just in mind. We are recollecting certain events, or we are daydreaming, or we are functioning with mind, much less with body, say solving a complex mathematical problem or creating something new, an artwork or something. That gives us pleasure, but that is very inner subtle kind of pleasure. We will say that is shanti, or that also has a negative counterpart, ashanti, a peaceful mind or disturbed mind. But when I am totally disengaged from body and mind both, that's what is upasana. And then Vedic Rishi is emphasizing, then I am alone, but not I am fully alone, because that Ishvara is all pervading, and that Ishvara is Satchidananda Swayam. He is inherently in that bliss, Anand. So I get a taste of that Anand. Indeed, this is the final objective of Upasana. The purpose of yoga and meditation, etc., is to calm my mind here, inner mind. That is what is called chitta also. Yoga is chitta vetti niyodha. I should calm down my functions here and then disengage from it. And then I am in proximity with Ishwar. So this is dhyan when I am in blank mind, and that is what leads to upasana. So we have discussed that in the previous sessions, that dhyan is a necessary condition, bringing your mind blank, and that only can lead to upasana, being with Ishwar. And when I am with Ishwar, then there is no duality of joy and pain, sukha or dukh. Neither there is a duality of shanti or ashanti, peaceful mind or disturbed mind. There is only one possibility, and that is ananda. That is what is objective of upasana. So I've discussed these two slides with you, and that covers the three sets of mantras we are going to discuss. But I want to give you another slide, another description. Third slide for the day's session. Three sets of mantra we are discussing. Set number one is to touch body organs. Strength of the body organs. Bahubhyam yasho balam. Then second set is to purify the body organ. And the third set is used for pranayam. Now that is the beauty of our Vedic ancient rishis, that whenever they formulated a scheme, it represented the various schemes. So it is one scheme, the set of mantras we are calling as Vedic Sandhya, but they present a number of perspectives that are inherently merged into it. So I am listing out, it's kind of an allegorical description. That is the beauty of the Vedic literature. I have bullet points, three of them. This is one is related to our three-dimensional pursuits of human life, namely Jnana, Karma and Upasana. Knowledge, action and Upasana. The third one is look at the Upasana as a journey through these five sheets we are talking about, which I have just now explained to you. Upasana is an attempt, this is a notional journey. I put my body frame, take a body posture, and then start reciting these mantras. They tend to motivate me. Yes, if I go inward like this, I will end up in my Anandamaya course. I'll be in the lap of that cosmic mother. So that is a journey, and these three sets of mantras are particularly describing going from body layer to the pranic layer, and the next set of mantras will talk about others. So let's look at these three possible perspectives. This is Jnana, Karma and Upasana. These terms I have used earlier in the very first session also. Action, these are our three powers: action, knowledge and ability to experience. This is called as Karma, Jnana, and this we said, this I can improve upon using yoga in the direction of Upasana. So Jnana, Karma and Upasana, these are the three pursuits human beings can be engaged in. Jnana and Karma have some relevance to other species, but Upasana is exclusively our zone. This is what I am using here. The bullet point one is saying that these three sets of mantras are in the direction of knowledge. And the beauty is, it seamlessly goes from me to him. I am looking at, in first set, I am touching my body organs. Then I appreciate his force, that his forces can purify it. And then in third set, I reach out to him only. Om Bhu Om Bhu Om Swa. And he is the maker of the universe. That's what will be the topic next week, when we'll discuss the next set of mantras. Om Mitan Satyancha Vidya. So I hope you get the beauty of this sequence. I am looking at my external body frame. I am amazing body organs. And then we say that they are inspired by the forces deep inside. And that is what is Bhu, Bhuva, Swa, etc. And that Bhu, Bhuva, Swa can purify my body organs. So the journey is going from body organs to body organs function due to Ishwar, purified by him. Just 1 minute, there is an intervention.
योगा कैंप चल रहा है 6:30 to 8:30.
जो होना था ना
लाइब्रेरी में जगह नहीं था.
6 to
मुझे ध्यान नहीं था बताने का.
ठीक.
10 मिनट पहले.
Will do. There is the first set is looking at, let me give the background here. This is a journey from what is called Pind to Brahmand. Try to appreciate the beauty of this scheme. I am observing my own body frame, appreciate how they function. but as a enlightened human being, I seek their purity. So the very first part is I seek the strength of my body organ. Then I am amazed that all this strength comes from Ishwar, who can alone purify them. That takes me, though I am looking at my body, I see him deep inside me. And that as a upasak, as a person being getting interested in upasana, I see him functioning in every function that my body mind does. Now, if you look at your eyes, if you stand in front of a mirror, you look at your eyes called chakshu, you are amazed with that. What is this sight organ? And that brings you to the point that though you are seeing your eyes, but you see the maker of those eyes. And that is what Ishwar is. So look at this journey as body organs to that Ishwar known by those 7 names, Bhu, Bhuva, Swa. And then next week we will see what does that Ishwar do in the outer world. We started the journey from my body frame, and yes, he is the Pran. He has made this body for me. He is making it functional for me. He has put in all the strength. He only can purify also. And then it is not when before he brought me into this world, he made this entire universe with the sun, the earth, the water, the air. That same force is causing all the events in the external world. So the journey begins from my body frame to Ishwar and then the universe made by the Ishwar. So in short, we will say from Pind to Brahmanda. That is one journey. This is in the knowledge dimension. I am getting to know all this. So I will try to explain. Let me cover this slide before I go to the Sandhya mantra. Then the journey of Upasana, as I said in the previous slide, we have Jnana, Karma and Upasana. Now look at this journey of Upasana through the 5 layers. So this scheme of Sandhya can be seen in a very different manner. So if you look at the journey through the 5, today's set of mantras is making us traverse from Annamaya course to Pranamaya. And then next week we will be in Manomaya course and so on and so forth. Of course, when it comes to the Gayatri month towards the end, then we are expected to get lost into Anandamaya. So this is what is another way to look at this scheme of Sandhya mantras. Third scheme was Ashtang Yoga that I have already covered in the very first session when I tried to explain that Ashtang Yoga and how does it correlate with Sandhya mantras. So today I have tried to explain to you in particular Ashtang Yoga, Yam, Niyam, they will be covered in the first and second set of mantras. Asana, I am already taking that posture, and then Pranayam is covered in the third set of mantras. So you can see the 3 sets of mantras we are discussing today can help you understand Vedic Sandhya as a journey from Jnana, Karma and Upasana. As a journey from Annamaya course to Pranamaya course, further deep into Anandamaya. As a mechanism to practice entire segments of Ashtanga Yoga. So that's what is the beauty of the entire scheme. Let me now show you the Sandhya Answers, yes. So, today's first set. Om Vak Vak, touching the mouth area twice. Why is it twice? Because it represents two organs basically. One is the taste buds, which is one of the five senses. That is acquiring knowledge, it is in the knowledge direction. It input to the mind frame. When I eat something, the taste buds sends a signal. If I like it, I eat it. If I dislike it, I don't eat it. So one is that. The other part is the speech organ, which is a outgoing action oriented. So one is incoming knowledge organ, organ for knowledge, Jnanendriya, and one is Vakindriya, what is called, that is our Karmendriya speech organ. That's why the term walk has come twice. Om Prana Prana, this is our nostrils, the organs which allows us to supply air to the fresh air to the body system. Breathing function, inspiration and expiration. Of course, this can be done by mouth as well. Like some athletes, swimmers, they do it through mouth also. But primary organ is said to be the nostrils because the aerodynamic is very helpful for the air to gain the body temperature by the time it reaches into my lungs. So, from health point of view, our normal breathing should be through the nostrils. And again, why is it said twice? If it is one, of course, somebody could say because we have two nostrils. But I will say again, our nostrils have two functions, like the mouth had two functions. This has two in the sense the breathing operations as well as our smell organ. Our ability to smell is also residing in the nose area. Of course, we have two eyes, chakshu, that is our organ for sight, which is a knowledge acquisition, and that is true for our shrotyam, the hearing sensation senses, which again we have 2 ears because these are so important. Pashyam Shadha Satam Shunuyams. Here, seeing is the most important. We almost say seeing is believing. So, our five senses, sometimes this is called as upalakshan. If we just make a reference to our eyes, it includes all our five senses because this is the lead organ for our five senses. And then the next to it is importance is given to hearing. So hearing is also very important, and now our medical scientists know it better. Because of our hearing ability, we maintain our balance when we are walking, etc. So a lot of internal things are happening there. So hearing is also very important, and these two, because they are so important, they are two organs. For some injury or due to some reason, if somebody loses one eye or one ear, at least the other one is surviving. So these are all very beautiful designs, and even our eyes, they are protected by eyebrows and all. They are slightly placed inside. You know, they are then their eyelids also. They just in a very reflexive, as a reflex action, they will cover my eyes if something were to come close to my eyes. So all these are very beautiful functions, and everything has a very specific purpose. We can never appreciate it more than it deserves to be appreciated. Then there is a navel area, Navi. That's where we got everything when I was in my mother's womb. So that's kind of my center of gravity. So that is my nucleus, so to say. Hidayam, that pumping heart, it is. I like to say again and again Hidayam, because Hidayam will come in our literature referring to this left side pumping heart, as well as that tiny shell where my consciousness is residing. That is in my head region. So sometimes people get confused, but these are two different things. This is here, of course, talking about body organs. So this is definitely our pumping heart, the on the left side of the chest. Then this is kantha, which is throat, which is where our vocal cord is there to speak out. Here, this is our head region, and that's where that is kind of our that is finally me, my present. Uh, if somebody was to know me, who I am, it is always the photograph is given of my head region. So that is my head like there is a head of the organization. My head is the head of my entire organization, so to say, and that's where my entire nervous system is residing, my mind is residing, all five senses converge at that point, and all five organs for action, the command signal comes from there. So this is a very, very important zone of head zone, which is where I am residing with in that tiny shell of mind and connected. So all that intellect, all that memory, and that mind linkage, all that is making a tiny shell around me is stored somewhere here. Of course, there is a lot of complex brain functions are taking place that we will characterize. In the Vedic terminology, all that happens in my brain is like my pranic function. Whatever is happening in background, which I am not doing it consciously, but is happening, that is characterized as prana. So my head region, bulk of it is pranic function, and within it is my mind, and of course from there originate all my linkages to the senses and to the work to the action organs. Today there is a slight change. I don't think I can do the that Sandhya as such. So I'm just taking slight more time because there is no point in doing Sandhya halfway through. So I'm slightly because this is important for me to cover these mantras, and this hall is to be utilized for another purpose. So I think it is better I just talk about these mantras. If I cut short, then it doesn't make sense. Or what I could do is, because my agenda was to take the entire three sets of mantras, if I leave it halfway through, that also somehow doesn't make sense to me. So let me go through these three sets of mantras, and then we will not have enough time for the to perform the sandhya as such. So that will be left out today. So here I want to make a remark. This Bahubhyam Yashobalam that is applicable to all these body organs, and Bal means strength. So I wish all these should preserve good strength, but this has been qualified with a term, became a compound term, Yashobalam. Yash is for a creditable fame, so to say. So it should bring me good name, so to say. So whatever I function, my actions in the community, in the society, should be appreciated in a positive sense. So there is a adjective with the strength. With the body strength, I could do wrongful acts also, but this is trying to give a direction that I must use my body strength in a positive manner. And then it is all our karma are finally they are the agent is our hands, so to say. So our hands are referred to as kaya tala kaya pishthe. My palms as well as other sides of palm. So whenever you use your hand, you give something to somebody or something. If you are observing your palm, then the other person is using the seeing the other side. And if the other person sees your palms, like you are giving something to somebody, then you are seeing the other side of your palm, backside. That is called as karpishtha. Pisht is a word for the backside. So tal is this side, palm side, or karpishthe. The my actions should look good to the other person as well as to me also. So that is the meaning here, that my actions should be of positive nature. I should not be ashamed of them in present or in future. So they should be all of good quality. So here it is mainly talking strength, but also giving some reference to their qualitative sense by Yashobalam and Kayatal Karpishthe. And then the Upasak, the practitioner, knows that purity can come from that Ishwar only. Now he goes to the second set of mantra.
Saraji, why we missed out legs and feet in this? We missed out legs and feet.
That they have not been, yeah, because as I said, like Chakshu is an uplakshan for all the organs for knowledge. Similarly, our hands is a uplakshan for all the organs for action.
Okay.
Finally, our actions are, that is the main agent. Of course, I speak also, I walk, and there are many other ways I can act, but that is representing the entire. Now I am classifying it in a different manner slightly and seeking the force of Ishwar to purify certain body organs. So these seven names, as I said, even the eighth one, are names for the Ishwar, who is that he is the one who brings everything into existence. Who he takes away the pain, he is untouched by pain. Swa, he gives happiness to others. Maha is a kind of a greatness, magnanimity. Jana is creative power. Tapa is one who is can go for penance, can go for austerity. Satyam is truthfulness. Khambham is again is subtle and all pervading. Is These are so many names for Ishwar, and we are saying that Bhu, who is existent and makes us existent, and should I use my all my mental and intellectual faculty that my head is in a positive manner, in a creative sense, so to say, that not to destroy things but to build up things in a positive thoughts, bringing making things, bringing them into existence. Bhuah punatu netyayo, he is untouched with pain and suffering, and through my eyes, again eyes are here for all my sensory organs. So should I see others' pain and suffering, and with a sense of love and compassion that I am driven to remove others' pain and suffering. So I want purity of my eyes so that I can make a world, better world, lessening the suffering of others. Kant is an outgoing organ, the speech organ, and Swa is giving happiness. So this is something any individual human being can give. At least one can speak a word of soothing word to give some sort of pleasure to others. If we cannot give other things, material things, we can always give a sweet word. So, Swaha Punatu Kante. Hriday, our pumping heart is magnanimous. It pumps blood and circulates to all the body organs. So, that force, that is the Maha force, I am trying to seek its strength that not only this, even what this pumping heart does, my heart, the other heart, that is where my mind is placed, also works in that same manner, in a magnanimous manner. Jana Punatu Nabhyam, this is the creativity of Ishwar, and our reproductive organs are in the navel area, and we want to use that force for creative force in a creative manner, not just for indulgence of sexual, those kind of activity. It's a very powerful and responsible act for us, and we must use it in a judicious manner for creative purpose. Papa Punatu Padayo, now the feet have been referred to because when it comes to the strain, most of the strain falls on our feet. That carries our body weight, that transports us from one place to another. So that we call as leg work. So that should have the driven by the tap of Paramatma, what is called austerity. Then we are coming back to the cycle. Started with Shreyasi, the head region, and coming back to the head, recalling his as Satya. We should have the love for truth, and indeed our head, the mental and intellectual faculty should be governed by that. Finally, all everywhere, entire body organ, and now we refer to Ishwar as Kham Brahma. Brahm is great who is spread over everywhere, and Kham means super subtle in the most subtlest form, so it is all pervading. So everywhere in our body frame, in every corner, he is there and he can make it purified. And indeed, his forces are there not only for the mind, like respiratory system, all the bad air is thrown out, and fresh air is taken, blood is purified, and through the sweat, and we know all those detailed operation. Detoxification of body is taking place in a different manner every moment, and that can happen in the mind also, as we discussed about sanskar. Now the third set, I have already described the meaning of these, and that's what is the pranayama mantra. And today I actually wanted to do pranayama and integrate it. As I see my clock, I think I have slight change in mind. I will do what I usually do in a compact manner, the Gayatri Sandhya, a quick 10-minute Sandhya, where it is Vedic Sandhya, but we straight away jump to the Gayatri Mantra. But before that, we do pranayam also. So, and in those pranayam, I want to integrate these pranayam mantras. So that way I am able to include all that I wanted to do today, except compromising that instead of Vedic Sandhya, I am doing only the Gayatri Sandhya. So let me explain this. I have given you the meaning of all this. As we did last 2 weeks, our pranayam was each breathing cycle with 4 phases. So breathe out, that is called as Echak. Hold the breath out, that is called as Bahikumbhak. Then breathe in was Purak, and holding the breath within is called Abhyanta Kumbhak. Now, the way to integrate is, this is something I have not read in a book, so you ought to listen to it carefully. And this is, I think, is a very correct way to do this pranayam at this juncture. So what should be done? What is the significance of these mantras? It goes like this. When I do Rechak, breathe out, I am using my mind to expel the air. Is it not? Once that is done, then I move to the phase 2, which is Bahya Kumbhak. Then my system is airtight. At that moment, I mentally recite first 3 of them, namely Om Bhu, Om Bhuva, Om Swa. Then when that is done, and Maharishi Dayanand says, this is not that I must recite these 3 of them. If there is an onset of discomfort, then I must move to the next phase. And during that moment, I am reciting these 3. Suppose you have less time, you might be able to recite only Om Bhu only. And if you have more time, you can recite these 3 and repeat them. It left to the individual. Now in phase 3, you are inducting inspiration of air, inhaling the air, you are applying suction force in the lungs so that atmospheric air can move inside. And when that phase is over, then you are in Abhyanta Kumbhak, and then you are expected to recite these 7 mantras. Again, that will take precedence. If there is an onset of discomfort, you move to the next. This implicitly gives you an indication which we have never given in the past, that the time duration, some people ask me, but usually we don't, we leave it to the individual, the criteria being onset of discomfort. But still people are slightly curious because they know it. Abhyanta Kumbhak is usually longer than Bahya Kumbhak. Naturally, obviously, because body has the air within, so body is reasonably comfortable. In Bahya Kumbhak, body is without air, so it is gasping for the air. And this gives you a slight hint that that ratio ideally is 3:7. So it's by Kumbhak, if it is say 12 seconds, is it not? Then that will be 28 seconds, the Abhyanta Kumbhak. But I will never say you look at the watch and make it happen that second. It is all should be very, very natural. So this is how we will do. Now I go to the webinar room. We do our okay, and we will do a total time. I am putting a timer about 10 minutes. Okay. It's a short Sandhya because of time availability. It will be first I am putting my body frame, disciplining my body. You can take a comfortable body posture. so to say, this is asana. And then we will do 3 cycles of breathing as I have explained. That will be pranayam. And then we will recite Gayatri mantra twice, like we do every other week. Normal volume and then whispering sound. And then I want to be in yoga. Yoga chitta vete nirodha. Cessation of any functions at my chitta level. If something is happening, you instruct your mind with the sound mentally excited. Oh, and make it calm. If something happens again you excite that sound. Make it calm. Mentally excite. Okay, our objective is to be void of any thoughts, any image, any operations at our chitta level. Okay, now we do 3 cycles of deep breathing, as I have explained. In Bahi Kumbhak, we will mentally recite Om Bhu, Om Bhuva, Om Swa. And in Abhyantara Kumbhak, maybe I will be reciting, I will speak it out so that we are all together. Here it begins. Deep breathe out. Hold it out. Om Bhu, Om Bhuva. Breathe in. Om Bhu, Om Bhuva. Breathe out. Om Bhu, Om breathe out. Breathe in. That was our pranayama. Let's recite the Gayatri. Om Tatsaviturvayet Bhargo Devasya Dhimani Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya Om Tatsaviturvayet Bhargo Devasya Dhimani Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. That was our session number 4 on Vedic Sandhya. We'll continue from here next week again. Thank you for joining.